What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, August 4th. We are in August already. Time for The Wire. We got some crazy stories to talk about, so we'll get into it in just a second. But we're going to talk about Carson Wentz. He's out. We're going to talk a little bit about the craziness that's going on in the NBA offseason already. We're going to talk about Simone Biles and her decision to walk away from competition and so much more. The Wire starts right now. All right. It is time. Sahi's got his dinner. It is time to rock and roll for The Wire. Fellas, how are you doing?
Good. What's up?
Man, you fool? Good?
I'm about there. This is, an immaculate meal.
So for our Wire fans, we never do this. We never break it down like this. But what does the famous Sahi eat for dinner? Is that Chipotle?
No. Thought about Chipotle. This is Tokyo Sushi and Grill.
Oh, nice.
I got a little veggie bowl with some chicken at it, a little fried egg.
Oh,
a little garlic sauce poured on top.
Man. We don't even need to bring this. I don't even need to bring the sauce this week.
No. I got all the sauce right here.
Well, I am glad to be back. So let's hop in. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL. You're going to get a whole lot of the NFL going forward, but not really a lot going on this week, except Carson Wentz told the press that he's going to need to undergo foot surgery recommended by a surgeon. This is going to take him out of play for 5 to 12 weeks. Now, doctors determined that Wentz unknowingly suffered a broken foot at some point in his career. And the doctors think that it was likely in high school. Now, when the quarterback planted his foot at practice this past Thursday, a piece of the bone came loose. So bringing this to the table, my first question for you guys is, Indianapolis is really invested in Wentz at this point. They've molded the offense around him. What do you think Indianapolis should or could do? Because he is going to be inevitably out for 5 to 12 weeks. Let's get it started with Trey.
Honestly, I think they're going to have to bring somebody in. I don't know if they're going to call old man Rivers back. I don't know what's going to happen, but somebody needs to talk to Carson Wentz about his diet. He's always hurt. I don't know if he's not drinking enough milk. I don't know what it is, but it's always something surrounding his bones and his ligaments just not working for him. So I honestly don't even know. Since it happened so abruptly, the season's about to start. I don't even know who their backup is. I hope they still got my guy from the Patriots, but I'm not sure if they still do. What's his name? Corey Brissett?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look.
I don't think he's in a.
You don't think
I don't think he's there. No.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they do really. They got to figure it out because they manufactured this offense around Carson Wentz and his ability. So I'm not really sure where they go from here. They thought that during the offseason that he was going to get all healthy, and all of a sudden he got a freak accident that's reemerging from that he had since high school, which was 6-7 years ago. I think that's insane, but I honestly don't know where they go from here. I don't even know who's available.
Sahi, what do you think, man? I have heard some rumors, and they are just that, rumors. But should they lean in trying to get luck after all they went through with Andrew Luck? Should they go in that direction? What do you think Indianapolis should or could do now that Wentz is going to be gone potentially 12 weeks?
I don't think there's anything that they can do. It's unfortunate, they had to go with Carson Wentz, in the first place. I didn't think they would trade that much for him. but I think they feel like they have a good enough team that they can win despite of Carson Wentz. You know what I'm saying? He's a veteran, solid guy. He could hold the team together, you know what I'm saying? They have the running game, they have the offensive line, they got T.Y. Hilton and those guys at receiver. So they got weapons out there. He doesn't have to do too much. So I think that was their plan. So him getting hurt, I mean, it's a pretty big deal because, like you said, they did invest a lot in the Carson Wentz, a guy that I think they got just, because you need a young guy, like a guy that's been in the league, done big things in the league. They just had Phillip Rivers for a year. They did great things with Phillip Rivers, so they're like, imagine what we can do with Carson Wentz. Although he may not be the Carson Wentz he once was, he's got some skills, and I think they hope that will pan out. But they got a guy there, Jacob Eason. I think he's a young guy. I think he's ready to fill in those shoes, and this is the perfect opportunity for because Carson Wentz isn't the only quarterback on the roster. They've got some young guys in there that
I did pull it up.
For this
you're right, Jacob Eason right behind him. Then they've got a guy named Sam Ehlinger. Behind him, Jalen Morton, and then Brett Hundley. So they're deep. They're 5 deep.
Yeah, they got Brett Hundley. Yeah. So they got some camp arms in there. They're going to be able to maneuver things around. It sucks. Carson Wentz is going to be out, but maybe he wasn't the answer. And a guy like Jacob Eason or Brett Hundley could step up and fill those shoes and just manage games.
Trey, looking at last
division, though, that division, when they got Carson Wentz, they thought they were going to win the division, especially with Tennessee being who they are, Jacksonville being who they are. I mean, it really looked like the Indianapolis Colts were set up to win the division and make a playoff push. So, like I said,
they still might.
Could this be a blessing in disguise? Looking at last season, I mean, we didn't talk about Carson Wentz all that nicely last season. We'll just say,
and rightfully so. I mean, and rightfully so. We have to see how this plays out. I know he was itching to get back this season, especially after the disaster that was the Eagles and all the media and the talk behind what was going on behind closed doors. Just a fresh start, I think, what he really wanted, and he was looking forward to coming back, and this really sucks. But it's only 5 to 12 weeks. So we're looking at the most 3 months. 3 months, they won't even be out of the first quarter of the season, really. So we have to see.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's push on. This story is our main story for the first part of the wire here. Simone Biles. Okay. She has stepped away from the team competitions and sat out of the all-around finals. And she sat out during one of the team competitions earlier last week or the week before. Obviously talking about the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. She stated to the public in so many words that a combination of her mental health state, the wear and tear that she started to feel at age 24, given that she started really early at 14 is when she first started competing, and an insurmountable level of pressure that she is under, being who she is competing on the world stage. So I've got several questions and discussion points on this topic. My first question for you guys is, what kind of impression does Simone Biles, who some might say is the GOAT, and when it comes to gymnastics, what kind of impression does her walking away from the Olympic Games, essentially on the grounds of her mental health state being where it is, what impression does that leave on you guys? And what impression does that leave on the athletes all across the world? Let's start with Sahi.
It's a tricky situation. Mental health and being in the right mental state is what is great. You know what I'm saying? It's healthy for you. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do anything that's unhealthy, even if you're competing for something and it's great as Simone Biles is in her area of expertise. So I think that just lets everybody know that that's something that you have to take serious above everything else. It's a touchy situation. I think she made the right decision. I can't say if she made the right decision or not. Only she can say that. But you just got to do what you got to do when when the time comes for you to do it. And if she felt like that was necessary, that was the right call for her. And it just got to, like, the impression is, when it comes down to it, is just you just got to do what's right for what you think is right for you. And you can't let any outside pressure or noise get in the way of that. And it doesn't really matter what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. Trey, what do you think, man? What kind of impression did it leave on you, and what does it look like to athletes all around the world?
So I think that mental health is very important. I feel like if you feel like you are battling in mental health at any particular time, you need to go ahead and take care of it. I do think, especially with sports like track and field, Olympics, not Olympics, but gymnastics, and the events like the Olympics, that athletes have a certain level of that they know what's coming. They know what's coming. So I feel like some of it is on them to make sure that they are in the right mind state for that particular moment. You essentially took somebody's spot, their dream away, by not being prepared for the mental aspect of competing in the Olympics. So you're just there, taking up a roster spot, when it could have been delegated to somebody who really had aspirations of being in the Olympics. But because you're Simone Biles, like, automatically, you're the best, you took that spot. And then to get all the way there and get into the situation and then be like, I'm cool. All right, I get it, to take care of your business, but at the same time, like, now you got a job to do. You're just it worked out. I'm glad it worked out. I think they got the silver. Somebody got, but seriously, primitive, just like the Sha'Carri Richards thing, you're an athlete, and your grail moment, your championship happens once every 4 years. You have a responsibility to prepare yourself. Mentally, physically, emotionally, you know what is at stake, you know what's not at stake. You can't tell me you don't know every single rule in that rule book. You can't tell me you don't know about everything that's going on in that sport. So why not prepare for that? And if you're not prepared for it, then step aside.
Sahi, is there really that much pressure on Simone Biles? She did mention, the tremendous amount of pressure that she's under. Her talent level is so high that they've essentially banned, I don't know if you knew this, but going into this game, they banned the true difficulty score of her moves in order to prevent other athletes from getting injured trying it. So she can't actually get awarded all the points that she would get. Just how would you describe the amount of pressure or type of pressure that Simone Biles faces? Do you think it's too much?
He's muted.
I was muted. My bad. But like I was saying, this is what I was saying. I don't think it's that much pressure, but again, I don't know. I'm not in her shoes. I can't tell you the amount of pressure she's under. From my vantage point, whenever I see a meme or a picture of her, or somebody says something, it's always great things. I've never heard anything bad said about Simone. So I feel like no matter what she would have done, people would have called it amazing, great, spectacular. It's the best we've ever seen. For one, the majority of people don't really understand gymnastics and how to score it. They see the final product, and for me at least, I see the final product. I see a couple flips, a a nice smooth landing, and I'm clapping it up. And they could be like thinking like, man, I really screwed that up. And I think that's what a lot of people feel, especially if you haven't been there or had a son or a daughter that's in gymnastics, or you know what I'm saying, you're not very familiar with the sport. And the Olympics only comes around every so often, so I don't think people have got a fatigue of Simone. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if it's like say for football that comes on every week, these quarterbacks are under pressure because they're going to get something said negative or good about them every single week. For the Olympics, I don't feel like many of the athletes face a lot of criticism unless they do something wild, because this is something that only comes around every so often. So whenever we see it, we want to praise these athletes as much as possible because they're not like paid as professional athletes as well. So it really doesn't make sense to criticize them or put a lot of pressure on them. And I'll end it with this. Maybe the pressure that she maybe talked about was pressure that she put on herself. So that's why she had to drop out, because she couldn't understand or like handle the pressure she put on herself. So I don't know. I don't think it's a lot of pressure, but yeah.
I don't know if you guys got a chance to see any of the team competition that she did compete in. She started things out that day. A lot of what I heard, because I'm like you, Sahi, I don't know the intricate scoring card or any. I mean, I can tell you that I know they're supposed to try to stick the landing. You can clearly see the area that they try to land in, things like that. She was overshooting a lot of stuff. And I know from the background I do have, not very much, in cheerleading, a lot of times that's related to overthinking. And I think that's what they said as the announcers too. Trey, what do you make of the type of pressure or amount of pressure? I mean, is she really under all this pressure that the supposedly greatest athlete or gymnast in the world, couldn't handle it?
I think that in the Olympics, there's certain events that we as Americans tend to focus on. I think track and field is one. The gymnastics team is another. Also, the basketball team, and then I will go into swimming. Right. Those are just, especially since those sports, when, like I said earlier, the main goal for those sports, the championship of those sports happens in the Olympics. Those are really the only times we focus on those sports. And then it's with a microscopic eye. So she's got the weight of this entire country on her back. She's got the weight of gymnastics as a whole on her back. Everybody waits 4 years at a time to view this one event. In gymnastics, everybody's watching, everybody's talking. And when it comes to the all-around for Americans, I mean, she's got a lineage to follow after. I mean, she's got Dominique Dawes, she's got Gabby Douglas, she's got I can't think of the name right now with the bob cut, I can't think of her name, but I mean, there's a lineage behind that's important, especially for her sport that she's carrying. And whatever we think about it, she feels that pressure regardless, however we see it anyway. So it doesn't, me from the outside looking in, I could be like, it's just gymnastics. But for her, I mean, she's been in this since she was 14. Real competition since 14. That's all she knows. I mean, when she steps outside of that, we talk trash. You know what I mean? Like, so imagine, including with the Naomi situation, hers is a little different because she just don't want to deal with the pressure of the media. But Simone Biles has like the radar, and we're not even talking about her brother situation. He got arrested. She still has to deal with family issues. I mean, outside of that, so she's human. I think there is pressure to it. Maybe I don't necessarily understand it, but I'm sure it's there.
Absolutely. I got two quick last takes on this, getting the attention a little off of her. But I mean, given now, like you mentioned, Naomi Osaka and Simone Biles have both kind of dropped out of higher level, the Wimbledon, the Olympics, higher level sporting events. Do you guys think that we're going to see a domino effect as we continue to move on in sports, as we continue to talk on the wire? Are we going to see more of these mental health breaks and these personal, times away from events? And or should it be sooner than at the event? I think we're at Sahi.
I think it should be sooner than at the event and closer to the event. That athletes should focus on the mental health part of things and during training. You know what I'm saying? That's part of your training now. You got to have your mind together, mental health, because when you're out there thinking, you're not at your best. So you want to be able to calm your mind, be in the right headspace, and realize that that's important to being an athlete. A lot of times, like I know when I was growing up playing sports, that's something you didn't think about. If you were feeling the pressure, you just got to suck it up and, you know what I'm saying, get back out there. There's no sitting out because, you know what I'm saying, I got anxiety or anything like that. Coach is like, what? You got anxiety? Well, you lost your spot. Get off the field. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you were like forced to just stick through it. But now we live in a more understanding time. And athletes just got to realize that there's help out there. There's more understanding for things like this. So you can really attack it early before it becomes a problem. I think that's what athletes should start doing.
Trey, what do you think, man? You think it's going to cause a domino effect into the other athletes around the world?
I think it's already started. I think it started with DeMar DeRozan and what's my guy's name for the Cleveland? Kevin Love. They started it in basketball. We saw Kyrie took time off without letting the team know he needed a mental break. We saw it with Dak Prescott. He let everybody know how he was feeling during the pandemic as a football player and talking about mental health. Mental health is out there now. It's more prominent. It's more to the forefront as an actual problem that people go through. I mean, people will be more understanding about it. I do think, like I said earlier, it's a part of their responsibility, I feel, to nip it in the bud as soon as they feel it, to be prepared. Because as much as they are humans and they're people, they're entertainers, and the people that they entertain are us. And while I would say we are the reason behind their paychecks, figuratively, because I'm sure we don't actually pay them money, but the viewership of us allows them to get paid the astronomical amounts they get paid. It's their responsibility to be ready for that, even though it's there in their minds, they should just be doing the sport. I feel like it's fair. It's a give and take. If you have a serious mental health issues, I want you to absolutely take care of that, but not at the expense of, I just don't feel like doing it today. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Well, my 13, 14-year-old I just paid for my 13, 14-year-old, it was $350 to go see you play today. And you just decided, that's not going to work for me.
Absolutely. Well, one last take on this, and then we'll head to the break, and we'll come back. We're going to talk NBA. Simone Biles will return as of now. I don't know if this is happening before. We record on Monday. You get this on Wednesday. She's going to come back and do the beam competition. So my last question for you guys, and we can make it a quick one. What is fair to expect from Simone Biles in this upcoming beam competition? I think we're back at Sahi.
I just think it's fair to expect greatness. That's it. I don't expect nothing else. I expect a gold medal. And if she don't get it, she trash. No,
I knew it was coming.
I was after some pressure.
We got way too long with the serious takes. Sorry with that. Trey, hey. What's fair? What's fair to expect of Simone?
I think the only thing that's fair to expect out of any athlete is for them to compete. That's not my expectation. My expectation is for you to compete. Not anything more, not anything less. Now, if you happen to get a gold medal out of it, great. But as a professional athlete, you're out there, and I expect you to give everything you got. It just so happens that everything that Simone Biles got will blow everybody else out the water. So,
see, and there's where the pressure sets in. Anyway, we're gonna talk a little bit about the NBA when we come back. You're watching The Wire. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, and the thing with Simone too is if she walks away from this competition, then people are really gonna put the pressure on.
They're gonna be like, now hold on now. All right, welcome back, guys. I got my son here with me. You're listening to The Wire.
All right, we are back and ready to roll. Let's talk some NBA. Trey, thank you for bringing another host. And see, now we got 4. Now it feels more like a normal episode. Richie's out there chilling by a volcano or something, whatever you do in Hawaii. I don't know what you do in Hawaii. So we're gonna get things started with Kyle Lowry, actually. So he signed a 3-year sign and trade deal with the Heat. In the deal, Toronto is getting, my pronunciation is not great, but I think it's Dragic, Achiuwa, and they haven't talked money yet, as far as I know on the research. Maybe by the time this comes out. My first question is, does signing Kyle Lowry put the Heat in conversation with the Bucks and the Nets? Let's start it off with Trey and family.
I think it does. I think Kyle Lowry's the steady point guard that they needed. I think also, I know we didn't talk about it, but I think they put in, they got PJ Tucker for 2 years, I think $15 million. I think the addition of PJ Tucker, the outside shooting hero, hopefully he got a fire lit up under him this offseason after the horrific season that he just had. And then there's Jimmy Buckets. We all know we're going to get from him. I think they do get put in the conversation on the East. Clearly, the Nets are there. We don't know what Philly's going to do with Ben Simmons. The Bucks are going to be in there. And we got to throw Atlanta in there as well. The East isn't going to be as easy as people may think. It's going to be a dogfight. And with the addition of Kyle Lowry, they're going to be right up there with him. And Kyle Lowry fits with that team. He's a dog.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
I think Miami definitely has a chance to. I don't think they're not on the same, like, it's like tiers to it. It's like levels. I don't think they're on that level with the Bucks and like the Nets, because if Kyrie comes back, mentally prepared and not injured, and if James Harden gets that leg injury, I think they have a better chance. And Kyle Lowry is good, but like, I don't see them doing great. So that's all I gotta say.
There you have it, Saheed, man. What do you think? Is this enough to put the Heat in conversation with the Bucks and Nets? Not your Bucks.
No. Yeah, right. About the competition with us for real. But that's for another day. But Kyle Lowry is a solid, dependable, great leader. I would suspect he's great as a leader in the community in Toronto. He's probably beloved by the fans in Canada. But is he really, what teams are gunning for? Like, man, we got to get that guy up in Toronto. He's going to change our franchise. I don't know. Him and Jimmy Butler might surprise me, because Jimmy Butler is the type of guy that's got tricks up his sleeves. You know what I'm saying? Nobody expected him to go to the finals in the bubble, but somehow they did it. So I agree with everything's been said. I think they'll be contenders to make the playoffs. But once in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? You got the Bucks, you got the Nets, you got Philly, you got some dogs coming. So it's a nice looking move. They got some guys out there, but nah, they ain't ready for that.
I also think, I think Boston can, if they went head to head, I think Boston would beat the Heat out the playoffs, to be honest. Because, you got Jason Tatum, if Jaylen Brown comes back from his injury, and Kemba Walker,
They're talking about moving Jaylen Brown now.
Oh, that's not a good idea. So.
Send him to LA. Send him to LA, we want him.
Speaking of that, I gotta call you guys on some things when things change after they're set on the wire. So Chris Paul is gonna stay in Phoenix. He agreed to a 4-year, $120 million deal. First and foremost, before I bring the shade around, what do you guys make of the decision to stay in Phoenix? And is there a team you would have rather seen him gone to? I think I know the answer to that part, but Trey, go ahead, take it away.
You're damn right there's a team he should have went to. You're right. He should have went to the Lakers. He stayed for the money. And that just shows how much he cares about winning. It's not all that much, CP. We're supposed to have you when we had Kobe. We got sabotaged. And now that we have an opportunity to get you in, you stay for the money? You've made $200, $300 million in your career. You stayed for the money? And now we haven't talked about it, but now we have to deal with Russell Westbrook instead of Chris. Oh my God. It's going to be entertaining, but I think that he made the wrong move. Personally. Because what's going to happen this year was an outlying year. Do we really think the Suns are going back to the finals next year? With what's coming back in the West? Jamal Murray's coming back. Klay Thompson coming back. The Lakers are getting the spot. Do we really think that Come on, man. I'm done.
Chris Paul. He definitely should have moved. I want to see him get a ring. I don't think he should have stayed on the Suns. That was their only chance, and they blew it. They were up 2-0, and they just blew it. That's all I got to say.
This is my son, by the way.
He's a man after Sahih's heart. Sahih, what do you make of the decision to stay in Phoenix, man?
I think he made the right move. Get that money while you can. I don't think he would have. It would have been nice to see him in LA, so then I could put that want for Chris Paul to have a championship at ease in my mind, because he's with LeBron. This is, you know what I'm saying? He's probably gonna get there again. But sometimes like you said, it's not all about wins. Sometimes it's just about getting that cheddar cheese, and you know what I'm saying? He had to choose what he wanted more, the guaranteed cheddar or maybe the ring, and he chose the guaranteed cheddar. So, you know what I'm saying? Do your thing, Chris Paul. We see who you are now. You don't want that legacy to grow. You just want to be known as the guy that almost could have, maybe should have almost got there, but didn't.
Well, I was going to say, it has been mentioned. I won't point fingers, but it has been mentioned on the wire that he should go to LA, but we know that that's not happening. However, the Los Angeles Lakers have agreed to a deal with the Washington Wizards, as Trey alluded to acquire Russell Westbrook in exchange for Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and KCP. It's not the move you guys wanted. My first question is it a big enough move to get what you needed? We're back around to Trey.
So we lost 3 things we needed to grab one person who's an inefficient, great ball dominant player. No, we got rid of 2 shooters and energy to pick up energy. Russell Westbrook was going to go down as one of the hardest playing players to ever play the game of basketball, hands down. He has got 3 out of the last 5 seasons. He's averaged a triple-double, something crazy like that. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer in my book. He is amazing to watch. He takes jump shots when he should be doing the Giannis thing and just taking all shots within inside 10 feet. But he's going to take the shots. I don't understand how he fits with the Lakers, and I don't understand why we gave up so much to get one player. We're trading him for those players. We still are cap hit, and we have no roster. We need shooting. We need big bodies. We gave all of that up. It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm not a professional. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but from the outside looking in, it looks like we just bought a name. And we put butts in seats, but I don't know if it's going to equate to championships.
What do you think, man?
I think the Lakers don't need Russell Westbrook. They need somebody else. That's not the piece that they need to get a certified ring. I feel like LeBron and Russell Westbrook, they're cool, but I feel like they don't mix. It's like two positives, and they don't go together. So I feel like they need a different piece. So that's all I gotta say.
Who you got though? Who would you put?
I would put Kemba Walker, or I don't know, someone who's willing to give the ball to LeBron, but also like willing to take over when you need it, kind of like how Kyrie and LeBron were on the Cavs.
Tahi, man, what do you think? Is this big enough of a move?
Before it happened, I think I was one of the ones on here that said no to Russell Westbrook. I felt like there were better options out there, but Russell Westbrook can do it all. And
can't shoot.
True, he takes dumb shots, but at least he takes shots, and he's gonna get you rebounds and assists and everything else you need. So I think Russell Westbrook for the Lakers is going to be like that sixth man of the year that comes off the bench but plays a lot, because I don't see LeBron James through the regular season playing a lot. So they need a knockoff LeBron, if you will, and you know what I'm saying? And not that the IQ is all the way there, but Westbrook can do a lot of the things that LeBron can do. He averages triple doubles. So on that second unit, it don't really matter who you got on your bench, because you got Russell Westbrook out there. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna do everything that you need. AD's gonna come back healthy. They just need one more guy, maybe like a DeRozan, to really fill out that, you know what I'm saying, that start lineup. And I know Trey was saying that the Lakers are cap hit, but they got two, you know what I'm saying, LeBron being the first billionaire athlete, I'm pretty sure that he can dish out some of that for payroll for the Lakers. It's the least the Lakers can do. I mean, it's the least he could do for the Lakers, for, you know what I'm saying, getting them to trade all their picks away for AD. He came in and changed the whole franchise. It's basically his franchise now. It's the LeBron Lakers for real. So, you know what I'm saying? So he comes in here and you know what I'm saying? I didn't really want LeBron to begin with, to be honest with you. But we got LeBron, so he's our guy. So but I'm getting off the point right now.
I didn't think,
you know what I'm saying? Right, I'm getting way off the point.
Now.
Seriously, Kobe. I thought Kobe was the best player to ever play the game. That's who. When I play NBA 2K, I'm not playing with the Lakers. I'm playing with Kobe. Kobe gonna get as many points as I could get with him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the era of Lakers that I come from. You know what I'm saying? I was a Kobe guy, and to see a guy come to the franchise that should have battled against Kobe, but really lost some games and was running scared. You know what I'm saying? We never got to see LeBron James and Kobe in the finals, you know what I'm saying, when he was in the East and stuff like that. LeBron couldn't really get there. But that's besides the point. the point is this: Russell Westbrook, although I didn't want him either, I think he's going to be what the Lakers ultimately need going down the stretch, because he's going to be able to fill in that time when LeBron's on the bench.
He's going to take all the shots. Those 3 plays that they took, he's about to take all their shots. And then some.
Yeah, because Kyle Kuzma's trash for real. Montrezl Harrell, he's good, but you know what I'm saying? Coach didn't want to play him for some reason. And who else did they give up?
I was mad at that.
Who else did they give up? KCP. KCP is so streaky, you don't know what you're going to get out of that guy.
He was like 60% from the 3 at one point.
So at what point was that?
Like halfway, like half the season.
Well,
and then he got hurt.
Like you could, you know what I'm saying? You could like melt those 3 guys down together, put them together in the press, and what comes out is Russell Westbrook, all in one dude.
Didn't even trade them.
Yeah.
You guys want to rebuttal that?
Okay. There's a lot to unpack.
He doesn't belong there. He doesn't belong there.
Yeah, I don't. For what the Lakers are and how they operate in basketball and how they want to play the game, I just don't understand how Russell Westbrook fits. Russell Westbrook's game doesn't change. He went to Houston, there was a problem because of the way he played. He went to DC, it was okay because you had an off-the-ball player in Bradley Beal who's used to playing off the ball and who's used to getting his buckets off the ball. And it was okay because they're trash. So it didn't matter how many points. Him and Bradley literally carried that team from the bottom of the Eastern Conference to the playoffs. So that was cool. But you already have an established playoff team who has a system in place, and you're literally about to take that system and rearrange all of it. So LeBron James is going to be an off-the-ball player. LeBron James is not an off-the-ball player unless he's playing in the post. And I don't care what anyone else says about it. LeBron James is not a three-point shooter. He hits 35% from 3 or whatever, but he's not a spot-up shooter. This is going to work, LeBron James is going to have to get his butt back on the block like he did in Miami. And he's going to have to let Russell run the show. This thing holds the thing about Russell running the second show. I think that would be a great idea if Russell Westbrook can do it, but I don't think his personality and then him being in LA is going to allow that to happen. He's from LA. He's going to be blockbuster. He's going to sell tickets. They're going to want to see him play. Right now in their starter 5, they have no one that could shoot. Nobody. The best 3-point shooter they have is AD, I think. That's just not going to cut it. Especially if, you got Klay Thompson and Steph Curry coming back with, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Man. So you ready to leave it lie, or you got something else?
Yeah, I just can't wait to see it. Let's get a couple games into the season and let's see who else the Lakers pick up, because you know what I'm saying. I don't see LeBron and Westbrook playing together that much. So if Westbrook was coming in to be counted out as a true starter, then maybe. But I don't know. It's just too early to tell for me. I gotta still wrap my mind around it.
Thankfully enough, we don't have to. Oh, go ahead, man.
I think Anthony Davis needs to become more, I don't know, like kind of his role. Like, I feel like if he became like a consistent shooter, like that would be good for the Lakers, because I can't see Russell Westbrook shooting. I can't see LeBron shooting because they're not shooters. The Lakers need somebody who can shoot, and that's why I don't think Russell Westbrook fits, because it's like Russell Westbrook and LeBron are basically the same player, but like one's more dominant than the other, and it's to have them on the same, like they're both going to want to pass the ball. It's going to be weird. I just don't see it.
You know what they needed? We talked about it, or I think you guys talked about it last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but Steph Curry would have been. We know he's.
That would have been amazing. He would have become a Lakers fan.
Well, the good news is we don't have to talk about how they look mid-season here in a couple of months like last year. So We'll see. Alternatively to that story, to close us out, this is one that I know Trey is going to get a little heated about. But Kawhi Leonard has declined his $36 million player option for next season. So my first question to open it up, and we will send it to Trey, is this the new trend? Kawhi Leonard as a free agent every offseason? Is that what we're seeing here?
Me and Richie were kind of talking about this. I have a couple of takes that you're probably going to see on the big networks, but Kawhi Leonard is the most selfish individual I've ever met in my life, or I've ever seen in my life. He's literally about to cash strap this team this year. He's going to make anywhere between $36 to $40 million, and he's not going to play. He's going to sign a 2-year with an option the second year. After this first year, where he's not going to play, he's going to get $36 to $40 million, right? When he comes back, when the TV contract goes up, he's going to renegotiate his deal where he's going to make about $258 million over 5 years. He's playing the mess out of this league, and I'm really sick of it. I really think and he only plays about 48% of his game. Like, it's not, he's smart. He's smart, but I think as I don't know, like I was saying earlier, like, people pay money to see you, my guy, and you just don't care. Like, you don't give two SHITs. Like, it's ridiculous. So it's really frustrating because I know he's going to get it because of who he is. He's going to get it because of what he pulled off in Toronto. And I just don't think it's fair for the Clippers. And the Clippers are a dumpster fire. I'm a Lakers fan. But the way that he's about to have them by the cojones is about to be unreal.
Sahi, man, what do you? Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
I think he just be chilling. Like, what does he want to do? Like, it's like it's so weird because he goes to a team, gets a ring, and then like leaves. Like, what do you want to do? And it's weird to me. I feel like he needs to find a team, be loyal, and just like kind of like just chill there for the rest of his career. And I mean, you already have 2 rings. What more do you need to prove? I mean, you're always an MVP contender, and it's like, you could really just chill on one team and do whatever from there.
All right. Yeah, I got to get used to 2 people in one window here. I'll get it. Sahi, man, what do you think?
I don't really have much thoughts on it. Kawhi Leonard. Who is Kawhi Leonard at this point? We don't know. Can Kawhi Leonard even play basketball? That's what GMs and stuff are gonna start asking themselves. like Trey mentioned it. He only played 48% of his games. People aren't gonna. If he's opting out of contracts, that's not a smart thing to do because he's not gonna be able to demand top dollar. The team that he went to, which was supposed to. What was the slogan that Skip Bayless was hype about? The commercial. This was his town now.
Oh, cool. This is he's the king of this court, something like that.
Yeah. When he first came to LA, the Clippers, and after 2 years, like the Clippers are still the same old Clippers. Like nothing changed. And to be honest, if you want to be all the way honest. The year he won with Toronto, like he got lucky as hell on a last second shot that, like on Air Bud, it bounced off the right rim, hit the backboard, did a spin around the rim, and everybody's frozen. And
got away with the travel.
Right, got away with the travel. All that, man.
4 steps.
4 steps. Yeah, and then you want to shoot.
Right. And when he went to the Clippers, I didn't feel like Kawhi was like this dude is really demanding all this and they're giving it to him. I mean, okay, he won the championship. Okay, you can milk it for a little while, but this guy ain't produced in 2 years. 2 years, his team's been a flop, and they did everything they could to build around him. They had all the hype in the world. They fired Doc Rivers. You know what I'm saying? They did all this, and you opting out now. The curtains closing, Kawhi. You know what I'm saying? And there's not really too much you can demand because you're only going to be able to play this. Basketball isn't forever. You know what I'm saying? I know he's trying to prolong his career and things like that, but without producing, it ain't going to be much. You might as well just link up with LeBron James, man. You know what I'm saying?
He's not one of those players that plays through being hurt, or he'll have I just don't get it. But he's demanding. He's going to get it, Sai. Honestly, he's going to get it. He's going to get that. He opted out of $36 million. That's what he was supposed to get this year because he wants to renegotiate this deal. He wants to do a 2-year deal. He's going to get the 2-year deal. Honestly, because you're not going to not pay him. So you don't give him the 2-year deal and you let your best player receive. Before he got injured with the knee, because he did get a knee injury, it's significant. He was the driving force behind them winning versus the Dallas Mavericks. Because Luka was doing what he was doing and he was still dropping 40. So he's going to get it. And people know what they're going to get when they get him. I just don't think it's fair that he gets the hamstring teams the way he does. I don't think he's gotten the surgery yet, but I'm pretty sure based off of his past and what he did in San Antonio and what he did in Toronto, if he's not 100%, he's not playing. So he's not going to play this year with that knee. He's going to rehab the knee during this entire season. And during this entire season, he's going to, like I said, he's going to renegotiate his deal so he can get out and make the big money when the TV contract comes back. I don't think that that's fair. I think it's smart, but I don't think it's fair. And he's going to hold everyone hostage. So regardless of what we think about Kawhi personally, I think that the move is smart itself. I just don't think. I think if the Clippers were smart, they wouldn't let him get away with it. And I don't know how they do that without keeping him, because it would be crazy to not try to keep him.
I would build my team around Paul George. I mean, you saw what he did in the playoffs. I would keep my team around Paul George.
And you would just use Kawhi as a trade piece for assets?
Yes, like Kawhi Leonard looks like he don't even want to play. It's like he's kind of doing what Kyrie's doing, but I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird. I think that just don't got a point to it. Like Kyrie, you know what you know what I'm saying? He's standing for a cause. You know what I'm saying? He doing it for a reason. With Kawhi, it's just like, man, what's really going on, Kawhi?
That's a good point, man. Trey, if you were on Kawhi's management team, what would you do? What would you advise him to do? Because I mean,
if I was on Kawhi's management team,
yeah.
Watch how he about to lick these fools. We gonna decline this player option. We gonna ask for 2 years, $80 million. You feel me? Boom. All right. When the new contract come out, then we gonna hit him with the 5 years, $258 million. Bow. And then peace out. And the 5th year is gonna be another option. Kawhi is 29 years old. He's 29 years old. And he's about to lock himself up until he's about 37, making elite dollars. So Kawhi is set. Kawhi's going to Hall of Fame, guys. He's going to the Hall of Fame. It's sealed. It's cemented.
I don't like.
He doesn't have any. If I was him, I'd do anything that. If I was his management team, I'd try to get away with anything that I possibly could, including strapping the Clippers. He wants to stay in California because he's from Riverside. So that's it. He just needs to know where in California he wants to stay. But if the Clippers don't give me what I want, somebody's gonna give me what I want, and that's what I'm going with.
I don't know if the Lakers can afford it now. What do you think, man? If you're on his management team, what's the move?
I'm on his management team. To be honest, I'm just doing what Kawhi Leonard wants, to be honest with you. I don't know. Just so I can get paid, to be honest. I'm just here to be here.
Get a chunk of that 258. What do you think, Sahih?
If I'm on this management team, I'm telling him to get out on that field, on that court, and start dribbling. You know what I'm saying? Get to work. Get to work, man. I'm tired of you coming home early every year these past 2 years. You know what I'm saying? We need them finals checks, buddy.
I think there's something to be said about him actually performing in his sport, though. That's where he gets everything that he's gotten, is actually getting on the field. Because let's be honest, if Kawhi Leonard is 100% and he's on your team, you have a chance. You have a chance. And people talk. I think I heard him on. There's a Lakers actually trainer. What's his name? Mr. 94 Feet. You can check his Instagram out. I can't remember his name, but he's really prolific in player development. He was on the Toronto team with Kawhi, and then he moved to the Lakers. But the way he talks about Kawhi Leonard, he was on All the Smoke podcast. The way he talks about Kawhi Leonard, it's in a different light as far as like leadership abilities and tangibles. If Kawhi Leonard's 100%, he could take over and carry your team. That's just a fact. He just can't vocalize his leadership, which is what we've noticed. But as far as playing the game of basketball, he's a lot like KD. He's not really a leader, but when it comes to playing the game of basketball, he's really good.
KD?
Yeah, KD's not a leader. Don't start with me with that.
Okay. KD.
KD.
Absolutely not.
He's not a leader.
Right.
KD's on a different spectrum than Kawhi Leonard.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Folks, let us know what you think in the comments on Facebook, YouTube, and H2GPodcast.com. You can always catch us on Wednesdays at 8 p.m., but you can find all of our old content also at H2GPodcast.com, Facebook, and YouTube. We're also on Spotify, and where all audio podcasts are found. Make sure you also check out the H2G podcast. It comes on Friday night at 7 p.m. It's going to be a good one. I know, I was there. And we'll see you next week. You know,
Peace be with you.
I don't think he's even going to stay in California.
Oh, he wants to stay in California. He likes
Where
it.
you gonna go to Utah?
Yeah, you feel that strongly about him?